Hello, my name is Salvatore Lanza. I am the attorney for the Maxwell family. I'd like to thank the members of the press and public who are here today for this press conference. The family has called this press conference so that their version of the events that led to the tragic death of their daughter, Erin Maxwell, will be heard by all investigating authorities and the public. Please be advised that no members of the Maxwell family will answer any questions here today. This is because of the ongoing police investigation. Let me start by introducing you to the Maxwell family. Lindsey Maxwell is the biological father of Erin Maxwell. Lynn Maxwell is his wife and the stepmother of Erin Maxwell. Alan Jones is the stepbrother of Erin Maxwell and the biological son of Lynn Maxwell. Let me go to the cause of death as determined by the medical examiner. We have made copies of the certificate of death for the press and members of the public. The cause of death was asphyxia, as set forth in paragraph 30A of the certificate of death. At paragraph 30, part 2, C part 2, the medical examiner listed that there were contributing factors of sexual trauma. The medical examiner ruled that the death was due to a homicide. And again, that is set forth in the certificate of death. The Maxwell family believes the medical examiner is in error as to the determination of homicide. They believe instead that Erin's death was the result of accidental death. I will now discuss certain issues raised by the authorities in this case, as well as some facts not known to the media or to the public. Let's start with the house on Route 264 in the county of Oswego. The home itself is a very old home, dating back to the early 20th century. The Maxwells were purchasing the home by making monthly payments to a private individual who held the mortgage. Lynn Maxwell was primarily the sole supporter for the family. Both her husband and son worked odd jobs when they could find them. At the time of Erin's death, both were unemployed. Lynn Maxwell did the best she could to provide for the family and pay the bills of the household. Unfortunately, money was tight, and there was not enough money for the general upkeep of the house. As a result, Lynn Maxwell fell behind on her bills and was forced to retain a lawyer for the filing of a bankruptcy. I was not her lawyer in that filing. Along with the house falling into disrepair, the household garbage, about 3 months' worth, accumulated. The Maxwells did not have private garbage pickup because they could not afford it. As a result, the bags of garbage were stored on the porch. And as you can imagine, the porch had an odor of decomposing garbage. Lynn was planning on purchasing a dump sticker in September of this year until this horrible tragedy occurred. The Maxwells want all parties to know that they apologize, that their financial circumstances forced them to store their garbage on the porch. They knew they could not burn the garbage legally. They did not want to violate the law by doing so. They are sorry and embarrassed that they did not have the money to dispose of the garbage. There is no other explanation for the garbage being stored in bags on the porch. They do want everyone to know that any household garbage was removed from the main living quarters of the house. Next, we will talk about the cats. It is true that many cats were removed by the authorities from the home. The Maxwells took in as many stray cats that they could. None were turned away. Many of the cats had litters. The Maxwells did their best to care for the animals. Lynn Maxwell knew that there were many cats in the home, as did her son and her husband. She could not bring it upon herself to have the cats euthanized. The Maxwells tried to pick up all the cat feces. They tried to pick up after the cats. We want you to know that the feces were not piled 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 feet high, as the newspapers and media, some media, have portrayed. The house, unfortunately, did have the smell of cat feces and urine. The Maxwells did their best to keep the house clean. There were a total of 6 litter boxes in the house. The litters were changed every day. The home, in the opinion of the Maxwells, was in a livable condition. Apparently, the Department of Social Services concluded the same. The conditions that the Maxwells were accustomed to were what they lived like for years. This is what they were accustomed to, and this is how they lived. Some conditions may not be acceptable to some, but some living conditions may be acceptable to others. Everyone lives differently. The Maxwells did their best. If their best falls below the standards of cleanliness of the state and county authorities, then they offer their humble apology to you. There are no other excuses that they can make, and they make none. Lynn Maxwell should have sought help from the Department of Social Services with regards to the family finances. Lynn was working a full-time job. She was under doctor's care, and she was prescribed numerous medications, including antidepressants. Lynn did not seek the help of the Department of Social Services. The Maxwells are private people, extremely independent and fiercely proud. The thought of asking for help from the Department of Social Services never crossed their mind. I will now turn to the complaints that have been lodged by people, authorities, the media, etc., against the Department of Social Services. The Maxwells would like everyone to know that it is their belief that the Oswego County Department of Social Services bears no responsibility or blame in the death of their daughter. 2 complaints were investigated by the Department of Social Services. Caseworkers came to the house and suggested certain remedial measures. The Maxwells did as they were instructed. The Department of Social Services was satisfied and closed their files. At all times, the Department of Social Services caseworkers were very professional, caring, and kind. In fact, one Department of Social Services worker even brought Christmas presents to Erin. This meant a lot to Erin. The Maxwells are grateful to the caseworkers of the Department of Social Services for all of their efforts in this case. They believe that the criticism that has been extended to the Department of Social Services is unwarranted.